Okay, so we're here with another grow tent update. There has been a lot of changes. I mean, it's pretty much going to be unrecognizable, and I have a lot more plants to show you all, so let's get into it. So here's an outside look of the new setup. I did add a lot more equipment. I'll go over the equipment I used. Here is a new AC Infinity heater. It's a pretty good heater. It's pretty much pulling external air out, heating it up, and pushing it into the tent. It doesn't get as hot as I used to keep it, but I've noticed a lot of my plants, especially Nepenthes, even the Lowlanders, do much better at the lower temperature. And it takes a while to heat up, so right now it's 82, but midday it tends to be around 84 to 86 degrees in the grow tent. Let's go on to the next piece of equipment. So I have this exhaust fan hooked up to a dehumidifying controller. So when it gets above 83% humidity in the grow tent, which is typically at night, it will kick on and kind of exhaust all that stagnant air out. And here's my AC Infinity humidifier. It kicks in at around 78% humidity. So it stays on quite often, and I'm refilling it daily because all the air that gets pushed into the grow tent. So let's come around and take a look inside. I will warn you, it's kind of a lot dirtier in here than I normally keep it, because I haven't had time to do any maintenance on the floor in the grow tent. As you can see, I need to get in here and clean it today. So let's do a nice view of all the plants, and then I'll go through what plants I actually have. So I've a lot of plants in here now. So, okay, I'll start over here. It's a nice large Neoregelia bromeliad. They do really well in this grow tent. And here, I'm gonna start with this guy. The Adnata Campiolata cross. I did a major repot and I removed some of the basil shoots, so it's kind of really stressed out. It's actually coming back. It was looking a lot worse, but it's starting to kind of regain its strength. And this is one of the basil shoots. It's bouncing right back from the repot as well, and this is the other basil shoot that came off of it. Really awesome plant. It was one of my first in the collection. So yeah. What else? This one has bounced right back. It's grown about 3 new leaves in the last 3 weeks. This is my Nepenthes Trebiana. Sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing the names. Yeah, it is doing exceptionally well now. For about 6 months after the repot, it did terrible, but it's finally coming back. Okay, so this one is my Nepenthes Eustacia tenuous cross. It is a very beautiful plant. Here's one of the brand new pictures, as you can see. They're actually really soft and delicate pictures, so you gotta really be careful with them. Here's the next one. This is one of my absolute favorites in the collection. It is my Nepenthes dactylifera. As you can see, it's putting out some pretty big leaf jumps recently since I converted to all the hanging pots. Seems like the Nepenthes really love to hang more than they like just sitting there. Here is one of my new ones. I recently got this about 3 weeks ago. This is my Nepenthes ampullaria Campiolata cross. I really like Campiolata crosses. They make some really epic pictures. Here's one of the old pictures that came on it. This one will get some really nice kind of tubby, good cross, really beautiful pictures. This is my Nepenthes Gaia, or Gaia. It's been throwing off leaves left and right recently, and yeah, the pictures are just really beautiful on these plants. This guy, this is my Nepenthes Tamoriana. As soon as I hung the basket, it threw out a new leaf jump within the last week. and it's actually bouncing back, which is great. That one's probably been the toughest to grow in my collection, and it's done the worst out of all my plants. But hey, it's coming back. The next one is going to be my Nepenthes madagascarensis. It's thrown off about 4 leaves since I've converted it to hanging, and it's doing exceptionally well. So next Nepenthes is my Nepenthes rainwardiana. It just threw out this really awesome leaf jump, probably the largest leaf it's had since I hung the basket. Beautiful plant. The next one is going to be my Nepenthes mirabilis echinostoma. As you can see, a big brand new leaf. This came out and it's popping out a new leaf as well. Of course, my Nepenthes ampullary black miracle cross is doing extremely well, as always, almost to the top of the tent. And yeah, the pictures, that's an old one. Pictures on this plant are just always really gorgeous pictures. I really like that plant as well, even though it's a really cheap common cross. Okay, so the next Nepenthes is another new one I got. This one is my Maryliana Campiolata cross. Another new one. It's just thrown out a leaf jump. This is going to be a really epic plant. Here is one of the small pictures it's produced. Can't wait for it to get larger. Let's kind of zoom in on that. Nice plant. Okay, and for the last Nepenthes in my collection, this is my Nepenthes gracilaris giant black. It produces, of course, these giant, almost black pitchers. It's getting some new leaves, so that one's going to be doing pretty epic. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the Hoyas in my collection. This is my Hoya callistophilia, and it's thrown out this really nice new dark leaf. This is my favorite Hoya of all times. It's so beautiful, and as you can see, it's about to throw out some new leaves. It's doing really well. This is one that I've rescued. It was pretty much almost completely dead, but it's actually getting new leaves and runners, which is fantastic. And this is the Hoya parasitica black margin. It's parasitica black margin. Yeah, it's a really nice one. As you can see, the old growth that was pretty much mostly dead, I haven't cut off yet. I was just wanting it to pretty much regain vigor before starting to cut off all the old kind of dead growth. Yeah, as you can see, it's starting to do really well with all the new leaves. This is another one I recently rescued. This is a Hoya Wayeti variegated. It's starting to throw out some new leaves. Yeah, just like the other one as before, it was mostly dead. It's got a new runner coming. Really awesome. My Spanish moss, of course, really love it. It's doing really well in this grow tent. Another awesome plant is my philodendron moonlight. It's gotten absolutely massive since I've gotten it. Started off as like a little 3-inch plant. Here's another Hoya. This is my Hoya Pink Princess. This is one of the cuttings I took, and the cutting has come back really well. This is another cutting from it, and this is the mother plant. The mother plant has some really gorgeous leaves on it. I really like the pink that comes in under brighter light. Here's another one, my Hoya Fitchii. This, you can see it has some nice sun stressing. This is actually one of the cuttings I took from my mother plant. Here's the mother plant down here, and it's actually producing some flower dongles. So I'll be getting some flowers shortly, but yeah, you can see the sun stressing on that one as well. Really beautiful. Next is going to be my Hoya roseata adrift. This is actually a cutting that I took of the mother plant. You can see all the really beautiful unstressing this variety gets. This is actually my mother plant of it, and it is absolutely amazing plant. It's doing really well after all the cuttings were taken. I'm going to start with more of my newer arrivals. This is my Hoya Finisoniae I got, and it is a really awesome Hoya. I really like the veining that it gets. And this is the big leaf variety, so the leaves should be getting a lot larger than the standard variety. Here's another new one I got. It's a really small Hoya species. It's Hoya Engleriana. Engleriana, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's been getting some new leaflets since I got it. This is another new plant. This is a Dischidia variety. Let me pull the tag out. This is a Dischidia pectinoides. It's actually an ant plant, so in the wild, or once it gets larger, it will form these large hollow leaves that ants in the wild will burrow into. But yeah, it's been doing really well, growing fairly quickly. It's a really cool little tiny Dischidia. Okay, so here's one of the trees I repotted. This is my African strangler fig. It's doing really well after the repot. I'm training it as a bonsai. Here's a Brazilian rain tree. Here's another new plant I got. This is my pothos. I think it's what is it? It's the Cebu Blue. I'm not a huge pothos person, but I really like the Cebu Blues. Another large, I think they call it Neurogelia party, or no, it's Neurogelia vacation is what they call it. Yeah, same as this, except this one I mounted. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, then my plant tray of clippings. And I would say that's about it. Oh yeah, my ant plant. This actually threw out seeds, so right now I'm germinating seeds from this plant. It is super cool. It's actually started getting little holes that the ant plants get in their base for ants in the wild, which is kind of cool to see. It's doing super well, getting a lot of new growth. Yeah, thank you for joining in with me today. I'll give you another update probably in another 2 weeks to a month of this grow tent. And yeah, show everyone how it's doing. And anyone can set up a tent like this. It's super simple. You just gotta keep an eye on your plants and keep plants the way they need to be kept. Each species has their own care needs. But yeah, that's about it. Have a wonderful day, guys.